Hello, hello.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, everyone. Hopefully you can hear us, see us, but can't smell us. Whoo, Pat, yo, what's up? Haziel, Kai, Mario. What up, everybody?
Happy early Halloween.
Happy early Halloween. Happy day before Halloween.
Yes.
Happy Thursday before Friday. Did I say happy Friday earlier? I think I did. Happy Thursday.
That's right.
Because we're a day early this week because we decided we would do something a little fun, not only because we're both Halloween junkies, but also because we have what Joe's playing here, which we'll talk about in greater detail in the very near future. Sorry, I thought I left my mic there for a second. The overall chat today, we're going to talk a bit about the Halloween. We're going to talk about the things that we have going on right now. We're going to talk about the sale, which of course is cool. Everyone loves a sale. We're going to talk about what Joe's playing, which is our new model, the Belmont. We're going to talk about some of the gear we're playing because it's new. We have some new things in the shop that we're ripping, which is fun. And yeah, we'll catch up. And if anyone has any questions, in the meantime, of course, feel free to jump in. I know it's not our scheduled program time, so I'm sure we'll catch some people afterward. But to get started,
yes,
housekeeping. So last week, there was no live stream, which was our usually scheduled live stream time. Joe and I spent some quality time in Transylvania with our buddy Richter, battling the forces of evil, Count Dracula himself. And, after serving him a thorough defeat, we are here to hang, bringing not only the tool of Dracula's destruction, but a positive attitude.
I lost my face.
Yeah, Joe lost his face. I was cursed with forever pumpkin DNA. But we are good to go. Other things we have going on, just to make sure that everyone's aware, DS7, those are still available for pre-order. Yes. 10th anniversary guitars that we announced, still available for pre-order. Go check all that stuff out. It's part of the sale this weekend, which we'll get to in a second. But all of that stuff is available on the website in their various sections. And yeah, sale included. So you get a little bit of a discount if you want to order discount Dracula. So check it out. The sale, that's the big thing, right? Yes. We started it earlier this week. It's ongoing until the end of tomorrow or the weekend?
The 3rd.
The 3rd.
It goes until the 3rd of November.
The end of the weekend or Monday, whatever that is. So with that, 10% off everything. Yes. That includes pre-orders. That includes in-stock items. Be sure to check out the in-stock section and everything else that we have going on because that stuff is also discounted as part of the sale.
Right.
Mario said you look like you're ready for the purge.
That's right.
Joe's already purged twice this morning.
That's right.
To make sure he was ready for the live stream. Yeah, so check out the sale. If you want to score something for a sweet deal, now's the time. That also includes like merch and everything else that's like in the in-stock section. So
plus
straps.
all sales. What am I trying to say here?
I don't know.
Proceeds from all the sales.
Yes, there we
we
go.
go. Proceeds from all the sales of our Scary Savings sale will be donated to No Kid Hungry,
Yes.
which is an amazing charity that we've donated to in the past. And it helps families and, more importantly, kids in need, especially
Now.
in this day and age. So even if you can't buy a guitar, go check out No Kid Hungry. Even if
Yes.
you can donate, $5, $10,
Yeah,
it makes a difference.
it does make a difference. We typically try and tie at least one sale a year to, it's not about us making money, it's charity donation, and this is that sale this year. So like Joe said, a portion of the proceeds go to No Kid Hungry, which is, like he said, a great charity we've given to in the past, and especially in today's day and age, when in the next week or so, that may be a very pivotal thing for some people. We just want to make sure that we give back while we can. So if you can afford to give,
Yeah.
even if it's not to buy a Balaguer or anything, that would be sick. We love you for it, and so do the people who count on help.
And you can also go and donate, unperishable foods to local food banks as well.
Yes.
If you don't want to donate online and you have some, unperishable foods in your pantry, you're not going to get to, donate it for
Yes.
people who are, less fortunate.
Yes. Kai says the in-stock Astra DC is sick. Thank you. Someone should buy it. It is ripping. It's built basically in a Les Paul custom vein with the aesthetic, but in my opinion, it is much more playable. It also has a couple of little tweaks like the roasted maple neck for stability. It has our ferrule pickups in it. It's a Tone Pros tunematic, so an upgraded tunematic, and a couple of other cool things. But yeah, thanks for the shout out, Kai. Definitely check it out. Nick, Mr. Cafo, good to see you, dude. I almost said your last name, but I don't want to dox you on the internet.
Hello.
Good to see you, dude. I don't know if I think I gave Pat a shout out. I don't know if you're still here, Pat.
Yeah,
But
you did.
first come, first serve. We're always stoked when you leave the first come. Pat, local friend, fine guitarist, makes some absolutely awesome ambient noise. Speaking of noise, I think you should talk about the new model because along with the sale, we released. Yeah, there he is. He is here. We released a new model. If you want to order one as a select custom, it is included in the sale. So if you're into it, go for it. We've had a couple come in already, actually.
Yep.
Super sick. Someone apparently really liked this spec because one of the ones is like, I would say basically an even more modern version of this spec.
Shout out to my buddy Tim.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I guess first things first, it is not neck heavy, as people can see.
Yes.
It's not kind of going towards the floor. The reason for that is the strap button being right here instead of on the back of the guitar. You can get it on the back of the guitar if you want that type of vintage type of spec. But yeah, so it's our offset, double horn cutaway. I don't want to say the actual model, but obviously it's pulling direct inspiration from a model that people have requested us to do our own take on for quite some time. The body is way more offset than that specific traditional model. And it's got our Espada arm contour right here, which some people call it the spoon cut. So you won't get that horrible forearm dent when you're playing for a long period of time. We can also still do it as a flat top with binding, but if you go on the online builder, you'll be able to see all the different variations you can do with it. You can also get this pickguard, which is more similar to our Espada style, or you can get a more classic style pickguard shape, and both of those are available in 6, 7, and 8 string, as well as our newest 9 string option, which is not a extra low string. It's a 6 string, but with the 3 highest strings paired with octaves, similar to a 12 string guitar.
Right.
So the G, B, and E have octave strings for each of those strings, meaning it's an octave up G, an octave up B, and an octave up E. And those are only available on tunematic style bridges, just because of the way it's manufactured and the saddle design and everything like that. But go check it out in the builder. And yeah, very stoked on this model. It's been a long time coming. Um, and yeah, it's you know, a personal favorite of mine, that type of shape. So it's cool to finally bring it um, to the lineup in our own way. And when you sit down with it, it really does feel different than the aforementioned, you know, inspiration.
Yeah.
And it's way more modern. And the contours, you know, there's a contour down here on the body, there's a contour up here, and on the back there's a bevel that comes along the sides. So
It's
go
very
take,
comfortable.
yeah, go take a look at some of the photos on our Instagram. We have actual photos of this guitar, as well as one other prototype we did, which is currently with Bo from Harm's Way.
Yeah, you may have seen the video drop on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, if you haven't, go check it out. But yeah, very excited about this model. And as Jake mentioned, it's called the Belmont, which we pulled inspiration from Richter Belmont from the Castlevania series. Shout out to Devin Scheidacre for coming up with that name. Him and I were kind of bouncing names back and forth through text messages, and we went through Renfield, we went through a whole other different, you know, vampiric Dracula inspired names, and landed on Belmont. So I think it fits it well, and yeah, excited about it.
Yes, Dave, it is indeed Thursday. Wait, it's Thursday? No. Yeah, we this is a pop-up, so we'll be back next week on Friday. But we thought this would be fun. Kai says, I know the shape has been on the table for a really long time. The Espada scoop must have really sealed it. Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I can remember Joe saying, because this is how Joe works. He just says, hey, come look at this. And I walk over to his computer and he's got the 3D file up. And I was like kind of apprehensive at first, because I came from playing the Inspiration. That was one of the guitars that I played for a long time. And I didn't want it to be just like that. And it's not. I can safely say, having seen them as soon as they arrived, and then also playing them, they don't feel the same. I would argue they play much better. And all of that goes into this being what it is. And the Espada spoon contour is definitely something that I love. I think it's a defining characteristic of the Espada and sort of people associated with us. And to have it, like it works. It seems odd, almost like you would just stick it on another guitar, but it really, really works. The shape of the body, the offset, everything that goes into making this a little more unique, it just fits the vibe. It's super rad. I highly recommend, like Joe said, check out the photos on our Instagram and our Facebook. We've posted a couple of little videos turning it and stuff. You can kind of see the contours as they reflect in the light. And it's, yeah, it's really rad. Highly recommend. And like Joe said, the more traditionally spec'd one with like the flame top and everything, that one's with Bo from Harm's Way. He did a playthrough of a Harm's Way tune and dropped it, filmed it, and we dropped it on our YouTube earlier this week.
Yep.
And it's sick. Check that out. But that's another opportunity to kind of see it in action and get a feel for what it looks and sounds like.
Yeah, and one thing to note is this arm contour here, it's not the exact drag and drop replacement for the Espada arm contour. This is actually designed specifically for this silhouette.
Yes.
So if you're familiar with the Espada and you know how that feels, it will feel similar, but obviously with this body shape, it's going to feel slightly different, obviously, because of the way that this is shaped versus the Espada.
We got a comment. Your voice is very muffled with the mask on.
Nice.
And what you don't know is that this is actually how Joe normally sounds. He actually takes the mask off for the live streams.
Yeah.
This is how he normally dresses.
That's right.
So sorry in advance for anyone who's upset that we banished the darkest evil the world has ever known and that Joe lost his face in the process. I appreciate your insensitivity. Just kidding. Nick says, here for the new model and analog pinch harmonics. Oh, we'll get there in a second. And a good transition. Mario says Bane.
Yeah.
Yes, Joe, you sound like this. Kai says, speaking of Devin, new Acacia Strain album is heat.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. What a monster record. If you haven't listened to the new Acacia Strain record, you are safe from God here.
Yeah.
It is banging. Like,
it is.
I don't know how they can make something heavier than some of the stuff they've done in the past, but it's heavier and more dynamic. There's a lot of, I would say, I don't want to say it's proggier because it's, I wouldn't go that far, but it's definitely like, you can tell they pushed it a bit, and I really like that. I feel like it's a very, to scratch my forehead there, and I have a mask on. the approach you can tell was much more like just open with what they did, and it's still soul crushingly brutal.
Well, I think it's also,
but it's
yeah.
really well written.
I
as a record.
remember Devin saying the album is an album that they wanted to write, that like they just wanted to do the things they wanted to do. They wanted to hear the things they wanted to hear, and that's the culmination of that and the byproduct of that. But
It's so good.
speaking of the Acacia Strain album, and other Balaguer artists' new releases, a bunch of bands just released new albums like Dayseeker.
Oh yeah.
The Acacia Strain.
Shout out Gino for being a real one. Dayseeker rules. Check him out.
Yeah, Greyhaven.
Oh
so
yeah.
Nick Spencer over at Greyhaven plays our guitars, and yeah, there's a few others out there, but go check them out. All those albums are incredible, especially the Acacia Strain. So
They are. Sorry, I just want to make sure the speaker doesn't turn off. Anyone who's been around the
they can't hear me anyway.
the live stream for a while knows that we if we don't play for too long, our little powered wedge that we use for monitoring will turn off. So I have to protect us from the pain. Haziel says I want one so bad, but I also need a Seraph. Yeah. They're definitely, it's cool. I think there's something cool about going from like, and you'll see the parallel I'm drawing in a second here, but going from like Woodman Thicket Seraph, where you go from like the most traditional to the most modern in like the single cut classic style, and then doing something like where you go from a very more aggressive double cut like the Diablo to something that's still a single cut or still a double cut but slightly less aggressive, less modern, like the Toro. And then I feel like the Belmont fits in a way where it's like kind of a blending of those things in a way that not a lot of models do, which is really cool. Like you're gonna recognize the shape, but from different angles, and when you play it, it doesn't feel like that. So it's very cool. So thanks for the kind words, and thanks to everyone who's checked it out. It's definitely been a long time coming, like Kai said, and like Joe was saying, and it's sick. So yeah, thanks for the shout out. Pretty sure that's 4. Yeah. So someone says you're pretty sure you're 4.
I'm not gonna deny or.
Yeah, we have no replies. Although speaking of absolutely rad dudes who play Balaguer guitars, although we can't really talk about them because we don't know anything about them. Kai says no one else does sludgy doom with modern production quality like the Acacia Strain. Yeah, it's true. Those dudes, man, they just know what they're doing. And Vincent's lyrics are always, I feel like they're slam and death enough to be like just absolutely brutal, but they're also legit and cutting and can be really poetic. I think that's something that separates them as well, is like when they want to lean into that, they can, and they're talented enough to do it. Sure. And I'm not just blowing smoke at Devin because he's, rad and works with us, but like seriously, as a band, long before we were hanging out, they know what they're doing. And that new record absolutely rules. But something else that would be fun to talk about, because we got a shout from Nick, who said here for the new model and the analog Pentramonics. So we've talked about the new model. Let's talk about the gear today. Yes. We're doing something different. If you've seen it in the discussion group, we posted about this because we thought it was cool. If you want to see more of the rig, go to the Balaguer Guitars Facebook discussion group, the BGFBDG. Don't leave me hanging. Ooh, that was a good one. Damn. Where we posted about the rig that we're using for this live stream. So, for those of you who don't know, in March, we went over to England land. Shout out to Kai. And while we were there, we took a factory tour at Marshall, which was insanely sick. Mm-hmm. We've both come up playing Marshall amps. If you've been around us, you've seen us playing Marshalls in other live streams long before this and just kind of around. And the guys over at Marshall Studios, which is Marshall's in-house recording studio, shout out Ollie and Adam for being absolute legends. Yeah. They took us on a tour of the factory, went through the studio, played a bunch of amps, got to play these amps. And it was a really great organic chat. And they were like, hey, look, we have the studio. We want to get some modern guitars in the studio. And we were like, hell yeah. So we worked a little deal out. So Marshall Studios has some baritone Balagers, a select custom, and some production stuff in there, which is super sick.
Yeah.
And we have these beauties. Behind me is the Plexi Modified, which if you haven't seen it, is absolutely ripping. It's easily my favorite non-crazy high gain amp. You know, it's the amp that I grew up hearing. It's the sound that I always go back to. As we've been playing the Quad Cortex for years now, and I still love it. We still have them. We still use them. You can see it right over there in the shot where I'm pointing. But I use those Plexi sounds in the Quad Cortex. This is the real deal, and there's no substitute. It absolutely rips. It's just magic. And then Joe Migo over here is playing through a JCM 800. And if you don't know what a JCM 800 is, I can't help you. Been around a long time. One of the most famous amps ever made. Similar to the Plexi, but sort of just the next iteration. And yeah, that's that. We're also running through pedal boards, our actual analog boards rather than like the Quad Cortex boards.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a pedal board cam yet. We hope to one day. But if you do want to see everything that's on the board, like I said, we posted photos in the Facebook discussion group, the BGFBDG. And if you want to see them, they're in there. So check them out. We have a whole bunch of cool stuff, making some really cool sounds. And yeah, it's the first time I'm running the Marshall into a Captor X to run it into our interface. Joe is running through the Mesa, what is it, the IR Loader Plus?
Yep.
So he's using the Mesa, I'm using the Captor X. The Mesa is, the cab sim on that's it's one of those. It's a traditional Mesa 412. Or just kidding, it's the oversized. He's running through the IR of the oversized Mesa 4x12 cab, the Recto cab. And I'm running through a Marshall 412 with vintage 30s, which you can't see. It's down there. That is also what that cab is. But this is the model of that. So yeah, sounds absolutely sick. They're both running 57s and 121s for mics, and they sound ripping. Let's make a little noise. I'm gonna play for a second, then you play for a second, then maybe we'll jam for a second.
Yep.
Let's do it. Let her rip, baby.
Sounds awesome.
Ooh, it just started raining. Hope that doesn't show up on the mics. No, it sounds ripping, and you know, I think it's everyone knows the JCM 800 for being able to be boosted into just like ridiculous territory, and that's true, as Joe just demonstrated. I think the Plexi gets a little less attention for that, but it seriously, I mean, they all do it, right? You know, with a little bit of technique and a little bit of knowing when boosts work, they will do crazy high gain if you want them to.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, I would describe it as, and anyone who's been around playing gear, playing guitar knows what this is like. Sometimes you play something, you could be playing a guitar, you could hear an amp, you could play a pedal that just does the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just the sound. It's the sound of ages. You hear it and you're like, that's the sound. There's no like weird, oh, I'm almost there, or like, oh, I'm trying to figure it out, or oh, I'm da da da. It just is the sound.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear a Tube Screamer, or in this case, a Voyager, a Walrus Audio Voyager, but it's like a Klon, basically an improved Klon. When you hear those pedals into the JCM 800, it's like, oh, that's the sound.
Yep.
Like, that's just the sound. You know, when you take the Plexi and you put a tape delay on it and you put a fuzz into the front of it, or you boost it with like a Blues Breaker style pedal, it's just the sound. Like,
Yep.
That's the sound. And we have them set up to where they're boostable and all of that, but you can dial these things in and just do that stuff without it too. If you weren't going for like versatility, you just wanted for maximum Marshall sound, you could do that too. It's wild.
I'm curious how it's translating at home for everyone. I wonder how it's sounding.
Yeah, good shout. Let us know. We hope it sounds good, because it sounds sick in the room. I can tell you that.
For sure.
Kai says, just seen the Beatronics on the board pick. They're one of my favorites from Summit. Yeah, so funny story. I've been a huge fan of Beatronics for a long time. I have 3 of their pedals, and I've had others that I've sold over the years, but I've kept some of them. The 2 that I use all the time, one you can see right there on the pedal shelf, right there. That one's the Royal Jelly. This one is the Octahive, both of which are the custom, like the special edition versions. I actually bought myself that Octahive when I moved from California to PA to work for Balaguer. That was my full-time. That was my present to myself. That was like, I'm never going to sell this. This marks that occasion. So I have it. Also, Felipe and the guys who work at Beatronics are like the coolest freaking dudes in the world. Great pedal company, one of my all-time favorites. And the Royal Jelly, Joe gave me as a gift, actually. So they're both associated with Balaguer, and they're 2 of my all-time favorite pedals. I could literally build a Beatronics pedal board and be totally happy, because everything they do is so good.
Yeah, they're sick.
But good shout out, Kai. I appreciate it. Mario says Phantom of the Pinch. Kai says Joe's tone is perfect.
Ooh.
Damn, strong using the P word, but it does. I'm telling you, in the room, and this is through the monitors. When it's through the cabs, it's like, I mean, it's glorious. It's just the sound.
Is that perfect as in PURR?
It is now, even if it wasn't. Mr. Jesse Parks, where the long 9's at. Getting close, baby, getting close.
Yeah.
Those are going to be so sick. I can't wait till we can do a live stream with some 9 strings. Going to get some weird riffage on.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, the boards are set up to do all sorts of cool stuff.
You a jam?
Yeah, let's do a little jammy jam. Let's hear some more tones.
Yeah.
You want to do, let's see. We'll kick it off. Woo! If that didn't give you a little something, something. Damn. That was the Walrus, right? The Fable?
It was both.
Oh, both? Damn. So if you look at the photos of Joe's pedal board, he has both the Maris Enzo and the Walrus Fable, which are like, the Enzo's like a synthy thing, and the Fable's like a noise generator thing. And holy crap, that sounded awesome. Man, just for one big, you could have just hit that one big chord at the end, and I'd have let that rip for like the next century. Man, that sounded good. I hope it sounds as good to y'all as it does to us, because I'm telling you, in the room, it's wild. But anyway, yeah, man, just so much fun to play. And I think what's cool is like, you know, the Quad Cortex, for example, it's amazing. It just is. For everything you'd ever want, it does it all. It's just so sick. And it does that. But what I like about it is it's consistent, right? You set up the Quad Cortex, you set up your Priest or your Axe effects or whatever else, and it does that every time. It does the thing you need it to do every time, the thing you want it to do every time. What I like about analog pedals specifically, and amps, and the interaction about it all, is it's almost like they're all their own instrument. You play the guitar, you play the amp, you play the pedals to get sounds like that, you know, or those big, like, you know, those tape echo sounds to me are just like, and it's not that you can't emulate that stuff. It's just like the way that it interacts with gain as I adjust my volume knob and all these other things. Again, it's not that the digital stuff doesn't do that. It's good enough to do it. I've said it a million times. But it's just cool to be able to like make it all happen on the fly. And I don't know, it makes my brain happy in a different way. Not better or worse, just different.
Same. Yeah.
It's so rad. Oh, it's so fun. Let's see. Broskies, Ken, what's up, dude? Thanks for dropping in.
What's up, dude?
Kai says, I think I need the Octahive now. Yeah, yo, it's like, I mean, I'll show you real quick, but, you know, it does the fuzz facey thing and then the octave thing. And one of the pedals I've never, ever been without on any analog board I've ever built is octave fuzz. I love octave fuzz. Basically, wah, octave fuzz, and delay are the three things that I've had on every board because I like having wah. I like having the effect of like a modulated delay, and I like having an octave fuzz for those ripping solos, like what I just did. Not that that was a ripping solo, but I mean like that tone, it just screams, and I love that.
Sure.
And it just has that like, I mean, I'll show you. So I'll do an unboosted sound, then I'll kick in the fuzz of the Octahive, then I'll kick in the octave fuzz of the Octahive, and it sounds like this. Yeah, it's just like
a hive of bees.
Like a hive of bees. And the best part about, the thing that I like about the Octahive, and this is not something that only they've done, but specifically with fuzz pedals, a cool feature to have is a pre-gain control, which they put on the Octahive, which essentially lets you adjust the input gain into the pedal. So like, it essentially acts as a volume knob on your guitar. So if you have the volume all the way up on 10 on your guitar, sometimes fuzzes can be overwhelming. With the pre-gain control, if you turn it down, it's the equivalent of rolling the volume down just a little bit on your guitar, or a lot bit if you wanted. And it's just cool to have that like bit of touch. And an octave fuzz pedal, specifically the old Octavia circuits, which in my opinion are the best, like in the Beatronics pedal, the way that you get those tones with the old stuff is you had to roll the volume down a little bit. Sure. If you kicked on the octave fuzz and you had your volume maxed out, it sounded real fuzzy, muddy, and you didn't get a lot of that upper harmonic thing. So the trick was to neck pick up, roll your volume down like to 7 or 8, It would get all of a sudden you get all this bloom and that octave up that gives you that richness. Well, with the Octahive, I just dial the pre-gain down a little bit. It's the same thing as having my volume down a little bit, so I don't have to mess with that. I just stomp on it, and it makes the best sound you've ever heard in your life for Octafuzz. So yeah, love it. Highly recommended. For the record, I'm also running the Bellipock, Catalan bred Bellipock for my tape delay, and then I've got a brown protein, which I use for all the other boosting stuff in between. That's pretty much it. I think I stepped on my Enigma. Shout out to Wyatt Eberchinsky, who's a pedal maker up here in Pennsylvania, who makes some absolutely ridiculously awesome pedals. He's one of my favorites. And the other fuzz that I use is that, because I think it's a little more controllable. It cleans up a little better. It's rad. But Ken says Joe can't even breathe under that mask. LOL.
I'm good.
Yeah, he's good. He's just breathing in his own carbon dioxide. He's living the dream, dude. He feels great.
I don't know about that.
Jesse says, I love the Fable, becoming an all-time fave. Yeah, it's a wild pedal, man. It's I feel like Walrus really pushed themselves with the noise generation stuff. Yo, so your turn. Hit us with some sounds. Mario says Octavia is the fuzz goat. You right. Double stop bends on an octave up in my weakness. Heard that. Ken says, Joe falls out of his chair. I'm feeling great. Hit us with some tones, because you have some, my tones I feel like are pretty, like, I don't want to say predictable, but they're my favorite versions of a lot of classic tones. You have some things on your board that are very different from stuff that we're used to. So
Yep.
I'll let you talk about it. You give me
Sure.
the signal and then make some sounds.
Sure. So I think the first thing I'll run through is the Fable by itself, and then the Fable with the synth pedal, and then I'll turn both off and I'll activate the delay, reverb, and fuzz on the Collision device's black hole symmetry.
Yeah.
So I'll do that.
Je vous aime les Français. Shout out to the Collision Devices team. Super awesome dudes. Make some noise. That is some serious sound right
One
there.
thing I will say is that second to last sound was not supposed to sound like that, because the black hole symmetry, with the delay and reverb, it has a modulation
Yeah, pitch
knob
modulation.
that detunes the pitch of the note, and for some reason that must have got bumped. Maybe when the pedals were being cleaned or something, but the actual delay and reverb were supposed to be just clean delay and reverb. With that said, though, this is going in front of the amp. The Fable and the synth pedals are going into the loop of the JCM 800. Everything else is going through the front. So the black hole symmetry is meant to be more of like a dirty, overdriven reverb and delay. But yeah, it's fun. It's weird stuff, but
I feel like it's like so everything on my board is running in front, because the Plexi Modified doesn't have an effects loop. But I think it's interesting that the collision devices, so you have like fuzz, delay, and reverb running in front. So it picks up the gain of the amp. It's like super aggressive, crunchy, like it does the thing. But then you've also got those like super clean synth and noise generating tones in the loop with the Maris and the Enzo and the Fable.
Yeah.
Which like have that super. There's just something cool about it. It's so sick.
I think it might be worth also showing the gain staging we have going on with the JCM.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Because what we're doing is, you know, there's the raw tone of the amp, and then we're pushing that with a vintage TS9 tube screamer as a clean boost. And then after that, oh wait, is the Voyager before or after?
The Voyager's before.
Sorry, so it goes amp, Voyager, which is, like Jake said earlier, the Klon style pedal from Walrus Audio. And then from there, we're boosting it with a vintage TS9 from Ibanez.
Yeah. Also, quick shout out, because I've played I've played real Klons and Klon style pedals over the years, and they're all like, everyone has their own things. Most of them are good. The original is amazing, although not necessarily worth the money you pay for it. But I'd never seen a Klon style pedal with additional features that I was like, oh yeah, I'll actually use that. Or like,
Sure.
It actually works. It's always just kind of like, why is that even there? Just
Right.
give me the Klon sound. That's what I want if I buy that pedal.
Sure.
This has more to it in a way that I actually use and like, because there's a second switch
Yep.
that lets you set a mid frequency, and then it's essentially a solo, like a parametric EQ kind of thing
Right.
for just the mids. And it really lets you take what is a very specific sound and modify it in a way that doesn't push you so far out of the territory that it like doesn't sound like that pedal anymore.
Right.
It's really sick. So yeah, running from your guitar, then into the Voyager, then into the TS9, then into the amp. It sort of works where like the TS9 is boosting the gain on the amp, and then the Voyager is acting like a front end boost
Yeah.
to hit it even harder.
Yeah.
And it sounds insane, and we're gonna hear it now because my ears demand it. I mean, what a flippin' sound.
Sounds
just,
cool.
Yeah. And what's great is like that when you have all the pedals off, you have that bitey crunch tone that everyone and their mom wants, because that's the amp that invented that tone.
Yeah.
And it's so good. And then you stomp on those, and it just like
Turns it into a different monster.
oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should say Hail Satan, because, you know, the veil is thinning. Man, it sounds good. For the record, I'm running basically the Brown Protein for my gain staging. So Joe has his two pedals. The Brown Protein, if you don't know about it, it's a double-sided overdrive. So one side is their take on like an old school Marshall Blues Breaker circuit. The other side is their take on something very unique. They say it's loosely based on a Nobles ODR1. And I can hear how it has some of that in it. But basically, it's the same setup where just like how Joe has the TS9 to sort of boost to 800 and then has the Voyager to take it into the stratosphere, I have the Blues Breaker to take me one step, and then the ODR just pushes into the stratosphere. I tend to use them independently, but you can certainly use them together. And they sound like this. Yeah, just man, it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
They sound really cool together too. I think it's a cool combination of like a slightly more classic, brighter, less compressed sound, and then the JCM 800 has a similar thing going on, but it definitely is more compressed and more modern with a little bit more gain.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, excuse me, that also leans into like my board being a little more vintage themed. It fits the thing. You know, you want to go nuts and kick on harmonic trim and, you know, a little bit of tape delay and it's just,
You ever hear that band Baroness?
yeah.
That tone reminds me of some of the earlier albums.
Yeah, I could hear that.
Yeah.
It's definitely a special kind of sound. And then, for the sake of it, because we're doing it all and I love the way it sounds, I'm going to play the Enigma fuzz, which is the fuzz by my boy Wyatt. WA and Company is his pedal company, and it's super sick. It's just, and what I love about it is it's silicon, so it's a little more metallic sounding. It cleans up insanely well. You can stack it with everything. It sounds so good. It is my favorite standalone fuzz, bar none. I have 3 or 4 of his fuzzes at this point, and they all sound so damn good. But that one especially is like my go-to. Oh yeah, shout out. We didn't have time to put this on the board, but you should definitely shout that pedal out because holy crap, it's monstrous.
So the Warlow, or I guess it's just called Warlow, from Jupiter Effects. So Chris Jupiter, we met Chris at the Guitar Summit show last month.
Yep.
And super cool dude, came over, played some of the guitars, and I got to go over and play some of the pedals. I know Kai knows what this is all about because
yeah, Kai was there.
Yeah, he just did a demo on his channel, I think comparing it to the Big Muff, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's a cool fuzz. It's got 3 different positions here. One's like a rat style pedal. The other is both, I think, in line with each other. And then the top, I can't remember if it's the top setting or the bottom setting, but it's like a Big Muff essentially.
Yeah.
And then you got volume, filter, and distortion. I'll definitely throw this on my board at some point and mess around with it, but it's cool.
It's also got some internal trim pots for like parallel dry sounds and stuff. It's very, very cool.
Chris also said to try it out with 18 volts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said it does something a little different. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Way to be cryptic about it. Unsurprising. My dude was an absolute monster. Super cool guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to take a chance to, you know, show off the analog gear. And, you know, these amps, I know it can come across like we're like, look at our shit. And sure, it's fun to show off a little bit. But the reality is, like we were saying earlier, sometimes you hear stuff and it's just like the sound. Yeah. It's the sound of ages. It's just what you expect it to do. And there's something sick about playing these things like they're their own instruments, diving in, finding cool sounds, combining them, seeing what works and what doesn't for you as a player. You know, it's the flip side of the coin, right?
Yeah.
The other side of the coin is the digital stuff where you can build presets and you can change things on the fly and you can have it set up in a way where you can play a whole set where every song has its own preset and does it like there is no doubt in our minds that that stuff is the modern way in so many ways, and we love that stuff.
Yeah.
The flip side of the coin again is this stuff where you're playing every pedal like an instrument, every amp like an instrument. You're sort of in touch with the history of it, and you play a lot of this stuff, and it's just, there's no wrong answer. They both rip, and we feel like finally we have the opportunity to sort of do both. So
Yeah.
we'll probably, depending on our mood and what we want to talk about, we'll do this stuff. Hell, we may even do some cool other pedal showcases or some other stuff. I hope we can do it. It's something
Yeah.
we wanted to do for a long time. And shout out to all the sick companies making sick gear and really loving what they do.
Yeah.
You know, touring Marshall was amazing to see how much of it is still handmade, to meet the people, to
Yeah.
literally watch them wiring plexis on the floor, like hand wiring. It was just,
That was sick.
it was insane. And then, like, you know, we've been friends with the guys at Walrus for such a long time. They're amazing people. They always have our backs.
Yeah.
We try and have theirs. Like, the relationships that you build with that sort of stuff in the industry, where it's like you love it for more than just what it is, but also for the people behind it. You know,
Yeah.
the WA and company stuff, Wyatt and his pedals, a local pedal builder here in PA, like everything from the most international stuff you could possibly imagine to the most like handmade in a shop kind of thing. And there's, again, no wrong answer. They all do something amazing, and it's just, we're really lucky to be able to do that, and so we want to share it because we think it's special, and we think you will too.
I think it's also worth saying too that Jake and I purchased 99% of this stuff for our own boards and like the collection back here. And I'm just kind of bookending.
I'm glad you said that.
I'm kind of bookending the kind of what Jake was getting at, because I want to make it known that like if you enjoy the people behind your favorite pedal brand or guitar brand or whatever, like, you know, buy their stuff.
Yeah.
Especially now, the way the economy is, the way the world is, like, now's the time to support the small business. Now's the time to, you know, even just post about why you like a specific pedal so much, or an amp or a guitar or whatever. And I think that's another reason why Jake and I wanted to do this, because it's just cool to showcase cool stuff from cool people.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm looking at every pedal on your board, every pedal on my board. This is all stuff we've bought with our own money.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, there are no sponsors of this video. I know we're hyping up people, but that's not what this is.
Yeah, and I wasn't trying to spin it in the way that, like, saying we're not, you know, this isn't a paid sponsorship or anything. That's not what I'm getting at.
That's what I'm getting at. It's important.
What I'm getting at is it's just cool to showcase this kind of stuff for no other reason besides like we're stoked on it. So.
Yeah, and it's a good point to say. Like right now, you know, if you have the disposable income, and if you're interested in something, support the people who make it. You know, like Walrus releasing the Fable pedal. You know, they're great at the noise generation stuff, but like that pedal is so special that like you can't release a pedal like that without loving it. Like they love to do that, so they do it. You know, Collision Devices out of France, the Black Hole Symmetry, the Tars, everything that they do is a labor of love. You know, I mean, the Maris stuff is off the chain. You know, Wyatt stuff, Beatronics. These are not like big companies. They're big like within the realm relatively of the music industry, but like you can meet the people who make them. They're not like faceless corporations, and this stuff rules. And it is a great time to support people who do cool work. And that's what we're doing with this stuff, is we want to showcase the stuff that we love because we love the people who make it. And we love you for hanging out with us.
Yes.
And we are also a company. We do things, and we, you know, make guitars for people. And in the same way that we love those dudes, you know, the people, when you support us, it all sort of filters through and comes back around, because we love that stuff too. We are gear nerds, and we appreciate everyone who's ever supported us, whether it's in the live stream, even if you're not buying guitars, just hanging out, coming see us at shows, saying hello, jumping into the Facebook discussion group or on Instagram. Like, we're the luckiest people in the world to get to do this, and we know the people who build this stuff feel the same way. So it is, I think, I would say without getting too lofty, but we're kind of already there, it's important. People care about what they build and what they do, and the people who play it. So yeah, show some love, because we try and always pay it forward, and we hope you do too. It's a special thing.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna hit the last couple of comments.
Sure.
We're gonna jam. We're getting to the end time. Hope everyone has a sick ass Halloween tomorrow.
Yes, enjoy.
Our personal favorite holiday. And yeah, hope everyone has a great time. Stay safe, but have a blast. Scare some kids. It's not all about treats. Give some tricks that don't hurt anybody, and have a good time. Kai says, "What a sick pair of boards." Thanks, dude.
Thank you.
We're both, like I said, we're absolute gear nerds. We love this stuff. We'd have spaceship boards if, frankly, if we could afford to have boards that cost more than our houses, we'd probably do it. But it's sick. It's so much fun to do this stuff. Kai also says, any news on Balaguer at UK guitar shows next year? Nothing confirmed, but stay in touch. Of course, Kai, we will talk to you as soon as we know anything, because we'll get something together, even if it's just a lunch date. Dave says, wah, 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 was. I didn't even play my wah. Here we go. I'll give you a little bit real quick.
Is that that famous song by Jerry Hammett?
No, that's the one by the Bee Gees. But yeah, love that wah. That's the Joe Bonamassa wah, which I love for the more vintage stuff. And then I have a Dunlop 95Q on my QC board because that's my favorite for the modern gain tones. Anyway, glad you gave me a shout out because I love playing with wah. Gotta say, I know it's Halloween and all, but I can't hear a damn thing Joe is saying. Too bad. That's the point.
I don't talk that much either, so it's okay.
It's part of the mystery, part of the mystique. Kai says, wait, it's Halloween? No, we just wear this every day. Dave says, why you got? I have a bad horsey, which I love. No, the bad horsey rules. I've had more than one of them, and they really are ripping. The 95Q that I have on the QC board is basically Dunlop's version. It's got the spring-loaded thing, and you can adjust the mid-range, the Q, and all of that. It's similar to the bad horsey, but it's not optical. Sick pedals, though. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out. It's Thursday, not a Friday. Hope everyone has a good Friday, Halloween Friday.
Yes.
May the spirits forever bless your journey. May Satan bless your steps. And as the veil thins and the spirits join the earth realm, may you not disrespect them and live forever.
Something like that.
Also, Dracula can suck it. That dude went down like a sack of potatoes when we took him on. Want to jam a little bit and we'll get out of here? Oh,
Yes.
I thought you were going to play Jurassic Park. See you guys next week. We'll be here Friday. This was a one-off thing, so we'll be back next Friday. Come say hi. Joe Balaguer, Jake Trowbridge, Balaguer Guitars.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween, everyone.